Welcome to this podcast, Holistic Creators, where we share our unique and universal stories about shaping the future for the 4 Ps: people, planet, purpose, and profit. My name is Swanette Kuntze. I'm a mental coach and your host of this show. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to a holistic future. So welcome. Hello and welcome to my podcast, Holistic Creators. My name is Swanette and I'm your host. And today is a very special episode as I will have 2 guests on this episode. And these are the Quantum Mogul founders, Jasmine Soori-Arachi, Quantum Confidante to Conscious Billionaires and Legacy Accelerator for Legendary Leaders, and Donal Kelleher, Billionaire, Financier, Philanthropist, Educator and Originator of the Kelleher method for debt-free wealth creation. So welcome to my show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swanette.
So this really sounds amazing. What is this all about? And let us know a little bit how you came to this topic.
So Quantum Mogul was really founded in a synergy between Donal Kelleher and myself. We came together through one of his philanthropic organizations, Global Wellness Transformation, pretty cool for people to check out. And right from the very beginning, when we began speaking, we saw that we really did have very large value alignment. And so we got to work together and actually ended up coaching each other, which was a really amazing experience. So I got fantastic coaching on billionaire goal setting and 90-day goal achievement. And Donal received coaching on really getting clear on what his next level achievement was going to be and how to accelerate this next part of his legacy. I loved it. He loved it. And then we came together to form Quantum Mogul to help other people.
Yeah, and this is really exciting because originally you come from different kind of backgrounds and now you found together and created this amazing new topic and support for other people. So Jasmine, what is it that you have done before that you really made you excited about this topic?
Yeah, so my background originally was as a scientist and a researcher at undergrad level in psycholinguistics. But I actually went away from that and I went into the arts. And after that, I went into holistic healing. So I've actually had a very eclectic background and it really came together for me, in my first business and in Quantum Empire that I created, fusing science really with, high performance and the ability to help people, whether they were opera singers, because I directed opera, or whether they were high-level CEOs, like Vice President of Microsoft France, helping him with some of his presentations. Basically, it was working with exceptional people doing exceptional things on the planet who were a little bit blocked and who needed to go faster because their visions were so big. And that's what Quantum Empire is dedicated to. And then when I met Donal, well, to meet someone who has, created multiple billions, a philanthropic organization, who is not resting on his laurels and who really is excited about our, as he calls it, educational empire, helping other people create freedom of time and wealth and true impact with soul-aligned service. Well, that was just too irresistible to pass up. So that's how I came to this topic, Swanette.
I totally get that. So what about you, Donal?
Yes, well, for me, I had achieved what was was looked like normal to me, right? But I did know that I could do things faster. And I certainly knew, right, that I wanted to digitalize what I knew and, and reach as many people as I possibly could, because I wanted to help as many people as I possibly could, because a little bit of background about myself, right? I came from a farming background. I left school when I was 14. I had no interest in farming. I wanted to be a truck driver, but I had to wait until I was 18 years of age to do that. And I worked on the farm, the home farm with my father and mother, right, for that 4 years. And as soon as I was 18, I got a job driving a truck, right? And I loved it. And I did it for about 4 years and got into property by default. With my brother-in-law. He had asked me to buy a place with himself and his brother. I did that, but I really didn't know anything about business or anything about property. And that turned out to be a huge success for me. And that was way back 35 years ago. And then 25 years ago, I went out on business and myself. And then after the crash of 2008, I managed to develop a major finance company out of it, right? Because I was in the process of buying a lot of debt and stuff. So it reached me to a point in 2014 where I sold the whole company and took a year and a half off. And in that particular year and a half, I toured the world, right, to see what was the world missing and what would I do with the rest of my life. And when I came back from that tour in 2015, I saw that the world was missing two things: the lack of education and health and the lack of education and wealth. And in September of 2015, I dedicated the rest of my life. I said I would dedicate the rest of my life, right, to that education to help as many people as possible. And that is how Global Wellness Transformation came going, which is a philanthropic organization. And that is how, as Jasmine said, I met her through that. And then when I saw her ability for time-lapsing, that was the one that really attracted me. Also, that it attracted me to the goals she had were the same. She wasn't afraid to think big. This is what I was looking for, but I was also looking for someone that was completely aligned with my thinking, but had the experience in the digital world and how to collapse it in this level, because this is where I was weak, right? It didn't matter how many businesses I had built and sold, right? I was still weak in this area. So when we got together and created Quantum Mogul, then we just knew it was a match made in heaven, you know?
Yeah, wow. I hear this from your side as well. There's so much passion in your
Yeah.
work, what you're doing. And and you can say you're really a self-made man, like, you know, self-made billionaire.
Totally. The first thing I ever done, right? I know we're speaking to listeners all over the world, right? So unless you're Irish, you might not know what turf is, right? But it actually is a heating fuel, right? That is to taken out of the land. We had it on our land, but you had to cut it by hand with spades and pitchforks and save it. That was actually the first money I ever made, right? Actually working on the farm land, right? Doing that before I turned 18 and I got my job driving a truck. And so, yes, certainly it was a very primitive background, but a happy one. We weren't hungry, right? We had a farm of land. We had plenty to eat. We had my grandmother did lovely baking, and my mother, right, and my sisters as well. So we had a great childhood. Right? Don't get me wrong, right? We weren't starving, but we certainly had no money. That was for sure.
Yeah, and seeing that it is possible that you can do this transformation for your own, but then still have this feeling, okay, even more is possible. So it's like Jasmine even expanded your own reality to what is now possible to create your mission together and help other people also to quantum leap their own transformation. We have this kind of concept that it will take a long time. So what I'm hearing, and I can't see you at the moment on video, but there are some years from being on this farm and now being the billionaire. It's not happened. It didn't happen like in very short time. But using technologies like the quantum technology,
That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's going to be the difference. That's the one that what has taken 35 years to get to here for me. We know we've seen it already in just the few short months that we have been working together. We know that what would have taken 35 years can be done in 18 months, 1 to 2 years. Right? And especially now because of technology, especially because of digital and the world we live in. I knew this, right? I just didn't have anyone aligned that thought the same way. I could have hired somebody, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. They had to think like this. They had to think like this. They had to want to help people as well, you know?
Yeah. I think it is like also being on the same vibrational frequency that you feel that there is really this deep alignment to create something.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Swanette. And something I wanted to bring up for your listeners, because I know it's one of your own superpowers, is in addition to technology, the importance of spiritual technology, what I would call spiritual tech, which is the ability to tap into your intuition to identify lucrative business opportunities, to be able to see where you want to get to truly, what's going to be most expansive and most thrilling for you and most impactful, and then trust that you're going to follow the signs, the synchronicities, and take really aligned action to bridge that gap. And so I believe that the new earth that's being created, the new age that we're all stepping into, we have this amazing ability to accelerate legacy through the beautiful marriage of technology and that GPS, that guidance system of heart alignment, higher heart alignment, and also the use of our intuition and the knowledge that we really are all connected and interconnected. So I just wanted to add that.
And I can only agree on that because, as you already said, now for me, this goes together. On the one hand, there is spirituality and then there is science. And I even wouldn't say that this is separated because one supports the other one to create something that is even bigger than if you have only the both different aspects.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So can you tell me, Jasmine, a little bit more how this can work if you bring together this spiritual part and the science part to really step into this intuition, as you said, and then, yeah, figuring out where synchronicities appear and what kind of projects you attract them.
Absolutely. And this is the part of accelerating legacy that Donal and I definitely teach. And is it okay if I give an example from some of the things that we've created?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Please, yeah.
So for example, we started with dream building. We really started with the end goal in mind. So, once we've left this incarnation, or once we've left this time on the planet, how do we want to be remembered by history? What do we want to have achieved? And for me, it's all about sovereignty and empowering other people. So we don't know how much time is given to us. Do we have a year? Do we have 20 years or 30 years? So if the vision is so big, we need help. We need other people. And we need other people to hold us in that process, to keep us accountable, to keep us moving forward. And we also need to connect with those people we are meant to uplift and switch on to their own sovereignty. That's my belief. So how I would suggest that any listener listening to this podcast do this is what we've done for ourselves. And just to give an example of that, within 2 months of starting the company, within 2 days of having finished our course, and not even the course, we made our first sale. And the reason that this happened so quickly was because we really did start from the future now. We really saw what was our identity as co-founders of Quantum Mogul. What stages would we be speaking on? Would we have these lovely conversations with like-minded luminaries like you, Swanette? We really had a very clear vision of what it would look like and feel like and sound like and be like. And from that energetic anchor point, it was really following the breadcrumbs. So one of the things that I suggest that your listeners might want to do is, once you've gotten really clear on what that vision is, what feels good to you, and remember, you can, like a movie, you can edit out the scenes that actually don't make you so excited anymore, right? And then once that's clear, what I suggest that you do is that you start tracking the synchronicities. So you might hear a song on the radio. You might have an old client reach out. You might see something in your Instagram feed. When we start tracking these signs, we know we're getting closer and closer to the shore, right, of the promised island, if you were. So engaging in this allows your intuitive mind to continue to work on how to do the quantum leap without you getting really caught up in exactly when or exactly how. And being in that, this is a big principle I think Donal will definitely talk about here. Being in that space of detachment allows you to continue to take the aligned intuitive action, no matter if it seems like it's immediately leading to something or not. So again, to recap, start with the end in mind, immerse yourself fully in the feeling state, the visual state, using all of your senses. What is that like? And then ask, how can I achieve more of that today? Your brain wants to answer your question. So when you have a positive question like that, how can I achieve more of this vision today? You will be actually seeing in real time the universe as a feedback loop, giving you signs and synchronicities and feedback in terms of exactly what to do next, in terms of, reinforcing that this vision is really important. And I think that is really the best synopsis on how to take a very, very big legacy and become magnetic so you attract the right resources and people to collapse time and really build the future now. So I hope that was helpful.
I totally love that. And I can see this as well, like if you have this strong vision, and then for me, it's like this reverse engineering from there, but you don't know exactly what steps will be in between. But instead of having like this plan, I need to do this and this and this. I love this, like attract synchronicities and document what happened in this moment. And what I would like to add is understand who I need to be so that I can become or already be this person I need to be in the future, so that I'm in this frequency to attract the resources and people. So
absolutely. And Donal, I think you can actually speak to that in your own work in businesses and in this new phase, the power of identity, who you want to be, how you want to be known, and stepping into that person to create the next level.
Well, totally. And you might have heard me just saying earlier that before I met Jasmine, I could have hired somebody to help me with this. But that was not what I was looking for. Right? I didn't want a person that would just say, oh yeah, that's what we charge, and it was going to be clinical. I had to have somebody that was aligned, understood, right, what legacy means, proper legacy, not just an egotistical one, a proper one that can be left for the human race to benefit for hundreds of years to come. And we can do that, of course, with the power of recordings and digital, but that could have been done for a long time. But this was really important to me that this could, I knew that the stuff that we could teach that would be so impactful that I didn't want it to be lost. And I wanted it to be developed in such a way that people truly saw that this was coming from our heart, right? That we just wanted multiple generations to benefit from this and have a proper identity in this world, in this crazy world that we live in at the moment, where has been betrayed, right, by both governments and financial services, and indeed now, right, it looks like by the healthcare system as well. And we have never had such a time where people were so misled and so lost. And we just truly, from my heart, and I know Jasmine thinks the same, that we just really wanted to give people a direction and hope and an identity and a proper legacy in their life again.
Yeah, I totally hear you from my perspective as well. So all systems are kind of in chaos. And at the same time, while this is happening, there is a massive possibility to create something that is far of what we can imagine as being a new earth, new paradise, however you want to call that, because out of this chaos, people are longing and seeking for guidance and not having the answers, because we already figured out education is what the system wants us to know, but not of free thinking or being connected to our higher self and getting information from the morphic field to guide us.
And this is why at Quantum Mogul, we're working tirelessly and always will to make sure we have as many possible offerings as possible to cover for everybody, because the last thing that the human race needs right now is somebody else getting on the bandwagon of a disaster looking to make money just for the sake of it. So we want to make this is why we have the questionnaires, so we can actually say, would you fill in the questionnaire so we could actually know what exactly is hurting you and see, can we actually help you so that we can actually have you on the right program rather than just saying, oh yeah, that program will do and it'll be fine. So this is very close to our heart in Quantum Mogul.
What do you hear? What are the main topics people are have challenges at the moment with, or are suffering?
Well, for finance and health, finance and health are the two big ones. They cover everything, really. This is why this is how I met with Jasmine, right? Was through Global Wellness Transformation, right? Which is an organization or philanthropy organization that is helping people to be, you know, to be led in the right direction, right, for nutrition and get the proper education in it and all that. And then for myself, I know the finance business like the back of my hand, and I know exactly how corrupt it is. And this is really close to my heart, that we can educate people on how corrupt the system is so that they actually understand and they can protect themselves and their family and their children. This is their legacy coming in now, to give them their sovereignty back again and give them their ability. So in a nutshell, it's two words: finance and health.
And I just wanted to add something in addition to that. We're really seeing an incredible group of people, in addition to that, who are looking to really expand what is possible for themselves. They're already really, I would call them go-getters. They're not dreamers. They're people who are making the future happen now. But the breadth of their vision is just so large that it seems on their own, it's almost impossible for them to achieve that in this lifetime. So the actual desires that we are seeing are people who have actually done quite a lot of work on themselves, I have to say, and they're really looking to contribute to the change, to be part of the change. And they take high performance seriously. They want to expand their ability to achieve faster and achieve more. And they want to do it from a place that is in integrity for them. I think Donal has an amazing story actually to tell around this, about his, former incredible business success and coming to this point of life, even after having created the philanthropic organization, and knowing that there was something more, knowing that creating success from heart alignment and from passion. I'll let Donal actually take this one over, but you were actually talking to me the other day about how you're so happy to get up in the morning and teach and contribute in this way.
Well, yes, like that there wasn't anything else left, right? I mean, I see that money on its own won't solve this, right? Money is needed to do it. But if money on its own solved it, we wouldn't be in the trouble we're in, right? So clearly there is too much money in the world. There's too much currency being printed. There's too much of it. So what we need to get back to is we need to get back to the life that I remember as a child, actually, which we had no money, but we had everything. We had proper nutrition. We had proper food. We had I still can taste my grandmother and mother's baking, and the way we lived was simple and happy. And we need to get back to heart alignment and people helping each other again. I remember where we grew up, like if you were out of, we used to exchange milk for flour and stuff like this, right? And eggs and stuff like this. So I'm not saying we go back to a barter system, but I'm saying that we need to slow down and say, okay, look, this speed we're moving at is just simply not working, right? Why don't we just start to learn about the lies we have been told and the truths that are being deliberately kept from us? We know that it is the way. I can vouch for it in the financial services business. It is the most corrupt business out there, and it stinks to high heaven, and I hate what it stands for. Especially, and out of all the regulations that they have, it's worse it's getting. And I would go as far as to say that it makes FIFA look like Mother Teresa, right? So They're that corrupt, and I have no problem in calling them out because they stink to high heaven with their flashy brochures, and they're not telling the truth to the people and printing money into oblivion and telling people it's okay. It is not okay, and this is where the heart alignment needs to come back into it, saying, okay, numbers will work. No one ever beats numbers. When money has failed and the system has failed, it's the power of the people will make the difference. And I am convinced of that. And this is why I really am happy that I finally found somebody that was aligned so much in my thinking that we could set up something like Quantum Mogul and really be here for people that really wants to see that direction.
Yeah, it is really the pathway to sovereignty, both financial and in terms of leaving the legacy that really matters to you personally, not the dream that your partner has or your family had or that you had 20 years ago, but as an awakening, expanding and evolving soul, having a human experience. How amazing do you want that journey to be? How impactful and how valuable are you and is your skill set when it comes to switching on the light bulbs of those around you? So it's really about the vision of sovereign beings igniting each other into the highest realms of possibility and helping them accelerate their incredible visions into really tangible achievement that benefits themselves and also generations to come, maybe even for centuries to come, Swanette.
Yeah, and this is really touching for me. And especially I had an interview some days ago, and I got this question that when I left this planet as a human being and come back and my soul will figure out that I'm back on this planet, how can I see that I left this legacy I wanted to create in this lifetime? And this is really a question that I want to give to you. How can you see that you left this legacy when you come back in a new incarnation?
You want to take that first?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go first. So for me, I want to look back and see that I have mattered, that my work has made a difference. And also in very specific ways, because I am so passionate about the right use and responsible use of technology to really make life easier for so many more people and to give us more time to spend in actual expansion and evolution. It's so, so dear to my heart. So I would like to come back and see that Quantum Mogul has become like a living library of Alexandria that actually remains this time, and that people can connect to it from all over the world at every level where they need support and education to take big, bold, fantastic dreams and go from moonshot thinking into accelerated manifestation. I would absolutely love to see that. And I would love to see the technologies and the platforms that Quantum Mogul creates and co-creates in partnership as having really changed the landscape of the new earth, architecting incredible partnerships and dynasties, as well as the philanthropic projects like eco-villages. I'd like to see a prize for young inventors. I'm very passionate about providing resources for the amazing inventions of our young people and bringing them to the table. So that's how I really see it. I see the philanthropic projects of Quantum Mogul building the new earth. And I see Quantum Mogul as that living library of Alexandria, where people can get the premier education on the planet when it comes to legacy expansion and acceleration. How about you, Donal?
For me, right, it's very simple. I would like, right, my soul to come back, right, and say he lived a life of two halves. The first half of his life, he made an absolute fortune from a system that was so corrupt until he learned exactly how corrupt it was. And he dedicated the other half of his life completely to giving it all back and educating as many millions and billions of people we could possibly educate so that they would not be misled again, or at least if they were, they had only themselves to blame. That really sums it up for me.
Beautiful.
Wow, this is so, so strong. And I get goosebumps when I hear you both talking because what an amazing future this will be that you are creating right now. So, chapeau.
Thank you,
Thank
Swanette.
you.
And it really is about communities. It's about people coming together as we are now, spending this precious time that we really don't get back. We talk a lot about money, right, which is a renewable resource, but we don't talk about time as being our most precious non-renewable resource. So as we all come together as equals and share from our unique geniuses, the mastermind principle, Napoleon Hill talks a lot about this, but the mastermind principle comes into play where we have all of our higher intelligences connected and working in this amazing synergistic way to create solutions for humanity that just couldn't come from one mind alone. So I just really love that we have this ability to connect and also just right here on the podcast and with your viewers now, your listeners now, and also into the future, that we have this incredible vortex of inspiration and acceleration. That really excites me as well. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, your passion is felt through the screen. Absolutely.
So wonderful.
Yeah. So what is a possibility that when people are now listening to that, how can they come in your programs? Because I can feel this energy within while we are speaking, but I think people are attracted. And what are possibilities to work with you or to come into your programs? Please share a little bit about that.
Okay, thank you so much. It looks like I'll be taking this one. So we, as we said before, are just really passionate about meeting change makers where they are, whether they're just starting out, whether they're very far along in their business and their aspirations, or perhaps they've created extraordinary legacies and maybe very successful legacies financially at the centimillionaire or billionaire level. We really have offerings that meet the needs of anybody who has a huge dream, who's looking to collapse time and accelerate their legacy now. So the major things that I would love to share with your audience today are our membership. We have a membership which is called Quantum Mogul Billionaire. And inside that membership, which is an annual membership, we have the most incredible, I would say, representation of Donal's success principles as a multi-billionaire, goal setting, billionaire goal setting secrets, and a lot about finance, how to really become sovereign when it comes to money, when it comes to money mindset, and also when it comes to the mindset of achievement and high performance. Then my work within this membership is really all about making sure that what you're creating is in exact heart alignment for you now, not the you 30 years ago or even 5 years ago, but as a rapidly expanding and evolving being. How can you take the vision? How can you break it into important milestones? And how can you collapse time to achieve your vision even faster? So that's our annual membership. That's Quantum Mogul Billionaire. We house that on a platform called Hello Audio so that our members and students can listen and partake and be part of this community from anywhere in the world as they're driving. Maybe some people are on their yachts. Maybe other people are, in carpools picking up their kids. Wherever the visionary is, we are making sure with our technology that we can support you through that membership. And then we also have some digital courses like Quantum Mogul Magnetic Mastery, which really helps you when it comes to enrolling other people in your vision. This goes way beyond sales. We have sales secrets, billionaire sales secrets from Donal Kelleher's master classes on how he created such extraordinary success in multiple different industries. We go deep into the psychology of enrolling other people into your vision. We go into the mindset of being successful in creating your vision through sales. And we really demystify a lot of the bad rap that sales has gotten, because everybody is selling all the time. Selling is service. And when you have amazing genius and talent as an artist, as a business person, whatever you are, whoever you are, and whatever you do, you are going to make the greatest impact possible when you can bring other people into their bigger and brighter future through your expansive solution. So that is Quantum Mogul Magnetic Mastery. And then we have a smaller course for people who are ready to just consume this content and get started, right away in achieving their goals. And that is Billionaire Goal Setting Secrets. So we have a very special 5-year tracker where you start exactly as you said, Swanette, and you reverse engineer. So you start with your big goal, and then we help you break it down so that you can be achieving on a very, very large goal. Donal, you use this to create multiple billion in sales, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It's critical. The 5-year goal is critical on this.
Yeah, and we also teach 90 days. So our one-on-one clients will come on board, and either they'll be part of our Quantum Mogul Legacy VIP Day, and or come and work with us one-on-one personally in Quantum Mogul Empire for 90 days. And the commitment to your higher vision in 90 days, how we're able to help you collapse your legacy and really create the impact you desire in record time, is a personal passion and pleasure for us. So we have our one-on-one options, and we also have our membership, and we also have those digital courses for people who want to get started right away in creating tomorrow, today.
Wow. I will put the links in the show notes so that it is easy for people to reach out. And I've heard you say now several times that a mindset is important. So what do you think is the mindset that we need from being, perhaps in the future, a lot of people, for example, in the financial business, have been corrupt or very egoistic? How does this mindset needs to be transformed so that we can create this future that we really need?
Okay, I will take that because this is something very close to my heart, and I know this works, right? We do know that the system has let us down. And we do know for one reason or another it has. So the mindset can go two ways. The mindset can get very angry, and I know what that is like. It happened to myself at the beginning of this journey when I learned how corrupt and how unfair it was. But I learned very quickly that being angry is not going to help yourself, and it's not going to help anybody else. So I had to train myself and get some coaching on it myself to not be so angry. So the big mindset set shift that has to come, it's understandable that people are upset and angry about what's going on. That's a big one. And we can certainly help with that here in Quantum Mogul, because I have lived through it. I'm sure Jasmine, excuse me, has lived through it as well. I certainly have lived through it, and it was very, very difficult, and I know how to coach people out of this. That's a big one. From once we get the mindset changed to what can we do, then we really, really do have a movement. Because right now, it's very obvious that the governments do not know what they're doing. They do not know. So if we have an organization of people that genuinely means to do well and know what they're doing, and we're not trying to create wars or trying to create division, we're trying to create, people, educate the people properly. And when people are educated properly, their mindset will be nice. It will be a nicer mindset. They'll be happier. They'll feel more in control. They get their sovereignty back. They get their freedom back. They get their life back so they can have something for their children and their grandchildren in the form of a legacy. This, I have no doubt, this mindset shift and change, when it is done, will move literally mountains.
May I add something, Swanette, to this? Because I'm just so in agreement.
Absolutely.
I believe that when people create from love, when they create from passion, when they create from a higher desire to heal, to connect, and to contribute with the creative life force that they are, that the frequency signature of that is more powerful than any of the negative things we hear on the media, than actually a lot of the challenges that each one of us faces. When we let that heart light shine, when we believe that we truly, as one person, can change the world, that our crazy, kooky, weird, creative idea that no one seems to understand, the quantum mogul does understand this, can actually create a future that other people can't see yet because they didn't even know they needed it. When we believe we have the power to affect not only our lives, but create a collective future of harmony, happiness, evolution, and I would even go so far to say as enlightenment, whatever that means for each person, we're truly unstoppable because we like attracts like in frequency. So we will meet more of those people on that frequency level. So I believe that the most important mindset is to take full responsibility for your own frequency, to take full responsibility for what you yourself can create and change, and for your own energetic happiness, your own deeper personal sense of fulfillment. When you realize it doesn't come from outside, when you realize it's an inside job, when you realize you have been given this beautiful opportunity, then everything you do, from if it's daily yoga, or if it's, going to therapy to work through things, or if it's drinking more water every day, or, helping people through philanthropy, or whatever it is that makes you so happy and lit up and full, that energy is unstoppable, it's magnetic, and it's irresistible. So I would say, in terms of the mindset of the new age, really paying attention to your own frequency and how to keep that high and beautiful and bright is an important mindset focus.
Yeah, so super true. And I would like to add, it's also the transformation from what you said, being kind of a victim and relying on others, that they will do something for you, to come into empowerment and self-leadership. And from there, of course, holding a high frequency will always bring other synchronicities into your life, and then you become the person that you need to be to leave this legacy, and even more and more stepping into the true identity and genius.
And I think that the nice thing about the human race that we often can kind of forget is that we have survived as a species for a long time. And the reason that we have survived is that there's only so far you can push a wrong thing before there is going to be a rebellion. And there has been plenty proof of this, right, down through the centuries all over the world. And indeed, right, the country I come from myself here in Ireland, right, plenty proof of what can happen when you push something just too far and there is a rebellion. And what happens, of course, in a rebellion is a terrible thing at times, and it turns out to be very nasty. But it is like a gorse fire, really, right? Green shoots grow up after it, right? We're not trying to create a rebellion. We're trying to just say, listen, there's a peaceful way of doing things. You are being misled. There is no doubt about that, right? So let's just stand. We're not asking anyone to create any sort of, there's enough of people pushing that on the world. We know that with the teachings and the education and the wisdom of quantum mogul is real, and it has come from the heart. It is a proper experience. It's not some sort of a theory. This is practice. We have living proof of it that has happened in our life, and we see the changes we're making in other people's lives now by going this road. And it's beautiful to see, right? So what I would invite is people not to be afraid to say, look, we can make a difference, right? And there is somebody here that can actually help us.
Yeah. I have another question that goes a little bit out of our topic right now. Do you think that there is something that energies from the universe will support the awakening process of humanity right now? What do you think, Jasmine?
I think, Swanette, because we are all connected, and as we're becoming more and more aware of the fact that we can't just act individually and not expect there to be a repercussion somewhere else for somewhere else, the more that we are now understanding that we require each other on this planet, that we are interdependent, means that we are more and more open to the fact that we are evolving together. And so there is not really this luxury of, I'm going to just do things in my own corner and I'm fine. While, the rest of the world, can, fend for themselves. We really are being called to stand up in terms of responsibility. And I believe, yes, scientific discoveries are showing the most incredible things at this time. And people who are very well versed in ancient spiritual traditions can see, for example, if we just want to look at quantum technologies, right, and quantum science, right, quantum physics, there are a lot of things in ancient Vedic writings, etc., which point to how our reality is actually organized as a quantum field, right? So I think we live in the most astounding time in which science is expanding what we believe to be true about our reality, and our spiritual expansion is showing us a whole new way of experiencing the universe as well. So I am 1000% on board with this idea that we will become more sensitive instruments to energies and dimensions and intelligent input from not only the super consciousness, but maybe other intelligent life. I am very, very open to this possibility and very interested to read people's experiences, scientific and metaphysical. I really feel that the divide between the desire to express what reality really is and experience it at the deepest level, that it's collapsing these types of divisions. And I think this is a really exciting time of exploration. For me, this is really the final frontier, which is the beginning of all new frontiers.
Yeah, wow. And as you know, I had a near-death experience when I was 8 years old, and since then I'm clairvoyant and precognitive. So this means I really have other senses open, and I'm able to step into the Akashic records, get information from the morphogenetic field, from the quantum field. And this is really something where I feel so much more is possible. But we need people also to kind of download this information that are already there. So
I agree. I do agree with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you see that there will be more and more people that in whatever way have access to this quantum field and can see or feel, or however, what kind of sense they use, the future technology and manifest it into the present time?
Absolutely, I do. I was recently really honored to become part of an international global think tank and to be named an international quantum strategist. And when I was asked why I was so passionate about the position, my answer was because quantum is for everyone. We have learned a certain Newtonian worldview. And what we know from science is we have a certain explanation about how reality works until something disrupts that. That's what's called a paradigm shift. And we get an even better explanation. Now, from the area of quantum technology, science, as in quantum computing, quantum sensing, when we look at cosmology and how there was one article recently, Swanette, which was amazing about how intelligent life in the universe, if it exists, how it might potentially be using wormholes, which are obviously mathematically predicted, and we know that they exist in science, for a gigantic cosmic quantum computer. Now, this was so mind expanding to me that I really realized that, yes, we do all have access to this same pool of higher intelligence. I believe our intuition allows us to access this. Science has postulated all of these different dimensions. Clairvoyance, people who experience different dimensions and see different dimensions, people who have had near-death experiences, talk about transition and different dimensions. So I believe, yes, as we are expanding, I believe we are also becoming more psychic. I believe we are becoming more intuitive, that all of us have the ability to draw down the information that we need from the field, exactly as you said, when we require it. And in fact, if we look at some of the greatest scientific discoveries, they happened when people were having dreams, or they happened when some quote unquote mistake was made. But then there was this amazing realization that, wow, a whole new invention was happening, or a whole new way of describing reality was happening. So I believe that as we advance technologically, we are also being given the same parallel opportunity to advance in terms of our psychic abilities and our intuitive abilities. Totally. I totally believe this.
Yeah, and this is such an, on the one hand, chaotic time, and on the other hand, amazing time of new possibilities and new perspectives, that it is really being here right now. The soul was here and decided to be part of this experience. And so let's see. If people now get this information and feel, okay, they have the different possibilities to step into your courses, your masterminds, your membership, or having this one-on-one. You already shared the links. I will put them in the show notes. Is there anything else that we didn't speak about that you think is very important for my audience and your audience that is also listening later?
I believe, just to recap, that it's so important to believe in yourself. And it's so important to align with communities that support your higher genius. To believe that the ideas that were given to you, the skills and the talents that were given to you as your unique genius, are not random. They are a gift. You are a key. You are a key to help others access higher expansion and happiness as well. And so you have an amazing birthright, an amazing responsibility to your genius first and foremost, to fully back yourself and to choose communities like your podcast community, communities like Quantum Mogul, to really be amongst other people who are celebrating genius, who are witnessing your genius, and in environments that allow you to excel and achieve at the highest level and become all that you were meant to be in this beautiful gift of time that was granted to you, so that you can impact not only the people just around you now, or even in the decades to come, but that your life will matter in terms of history, in terms of the legacy that you leave for hundreds of years from now.
Wow, Donal, is anything that you
And
do?
yes, to echo that, right? Yes, I agree 100%. And to not be overwhelmed by the world we live in at the moment. You are a very special person all the time. We lose track of it. We lose sight of it, right? No one, we should say it to each other more, but at least say it to yourself. At least say it to yourself anyway. You're in control of that, right? Don't get overwhelmed by what's happening in the world at the moment. There is organizations, and there is groups like Quantum Mogul and your beautiful podcast as well. And there is so many places out there, so many people doing many good things, right? Don't get overwhelmed by it, right? You are, there is help, there is hope. And together we can make a massive difference. And I see it already. And just only to go back in a point there when you were on about, right, is there something happening in the universe? Well, something definitely happened in the universe for me in 2014 when I had this massive calling to do something. I couldn't really explain it. It was 9 years ago now. I couldn't really explain it. And I toured the world and I had a clear vision right after that, right after a year and a half, like where I needed to be. And when I started down this road, when I told people that I was going to help people, right, educate them on health and wealth, the people just said to me, well, good luck with that. And that was actually in a sarcastic way. It wasn't even actually in a helpful way. Well, now it's 8 years later almost, and there is a global wellness transformation, which is the philanthropic side of it, which is a huge success. And now we have Quantum Mogul, which is doing absolute miracles for people. And then the results are amazing. And we see it here ourselves as well. So certainly we know there was something in this for me anyway. And and I'm saying that we want to reach to people out there. There is something you can do, and we are here to guide and help you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for all your insights and sharing your story and creating this amazing environment to inspire people. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you for the honor of being here with your audience today, Swanette.
Okay, speak to you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening or watching my podcast, Holistic Creators. If you want to know more about how I can help and support you, have a look at my website, spiritualchangemaker.com. You can also join my Facebook group, Spiritual Changemakers Community. Stay tuned for the next episode by subscribing to this channel. And you also can check the previous episodes.